Hey.
I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby. Waking up inside of you, baby. I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby.
Hey, here we go, Powerheads. We're back again with another episode of Ghost Book 2, Season 2, Episode 2. We're looking for E-Dot right around this time, but he seems to be missing like some Where's Waldo type of deal, but I'm sure he'll check in sometime in the near future. Again, your boy Tariq, he's having these nightmares and whatnot. Last time it was burning down the house, but now it's like he's waking up and he's like, oh man, I got to do something. And next thing you know, who pops up? Not in a flashback, but a flash forward, flash sideways, flash to the dead. Your boy Kanan pops up and he's like, yo, you know what you got to do. And meanwhile, Rika's just holding his cell phone and whatnot, his burner. He's taking a look at it. His mom is being tortured all inside the burner. I'm like, that's pretty vivid because I guess that's his only music communication with his mom. And he doesn't want to throw it away, but he knows your boy, Kevin Whitman, Detective Kevin Whitman. Everybody's throwing right about now. He's hot on the trail. So he's like, oh, I got to get rid of the evidence. And he's about to do it, but he doesn't. Speaking of 50, he looks a little different nowadays. I guess eating is good in the afterlife. I thought he was going to hell myself personally, but it looks like, he used to be in the club, but now it looks like it's the Golden Corral Club or the Subway Club or one of those other clubs. So get back in the gym. He gets dragged down by the station. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever had this experience, but I sure haven't. I've been to the police station many times and not of my own volition mostly, but not to go ahead and get somebody else. They call you on the phone. They dragged him out of there like he committed a crime. So that's kind of like whack. So anyway, so they take him downtown. He goes to see Big Mama, otherwise Estelle. But first he sees Yaz, and Yaz has the Band-Aid on her head. And it's like, well, what happened? Big Mama Estelle's been drunk driving. So he's getting ready to go try to find her and talk to her, and Sax pops up. Uh-oh. Rick is automatically on guard, but Sax is sitting there with his new hairdo, his new look. I hate the new hairdo, by the way. It looks like somebody spilled some toothpaste on the top of his head. Not feeling it. But anyway, he's like, I can help you out. I'm here to help. I'm working with McLean Davis now. Estelle's like, cracking at the seams. She's a grandma, but she didn't mean to be that full-time grandma. She didn't mean to be taking care of Yasmin all the time. She's suffering. She's like, I'm taking care of Yaz. I'm missing my daughter. My step-son has disappeared. He's dead now. I just can't take it anymore. I'm 60-something years old. So I guess that's when you check out on the little kids when you're 60-something years old. But she had not really. She had a semi-weak excuse. It was supposed to be her night off, and then she ended up having to drive Yaz to some sleepover type of deal. So why don't you wait until Yaz goes to bed? Anyway, so moving out of there, he cannot get her out right away. He's kind of pissed off about it. Come to find out later on from McLean Davis meeting with Reek and also meeting with Sax. The Sax got her a DAT, which is a disappearance ticket, which means she's able to get out. Unfortunately, it looks like Ice Cube's wife,
actress Kimberly Woodruff,
came and scooped Yaz up and is taking her to a foster family. And until everything gets straight with the court case, even though Big Mama's at home, she can't really see Yaz or take care of Yaz or do anything like that. It's kind of crucial right there. Now, we're back on the streets. When you're on the streets, you need to go to a bodega if you're in New York. Who's coming out of bodegas doing Instagram posts? Your boy, not mine, little guap. This is lunch. I don't know where his head is at, but he's doing Instagram posts. Kane is trying to tell him, man, you need to chill with that. And he gets a little text message. Somebody wants to see him. Mecca. All right. So Mecca's willing to talk. And he's saying, you know what? I kind of like what you're doing. You're headed in the right direction. Go up and see Mecca's crib. It is fantastic. And he's got his own sushi chef. And not only does he have his own sushi chef, his sushi chef is down with whatever. All right, so we'll get to that in a minute, but you can tell they really know each other well. This is not just a pop-up sushi party. The chef comes and cooks for him quite often. So anyway, Kane is in there looking around, and your boy pops up like Batman, so he scares the shit out of Kane. They're talking. He's saying, he gives him this gun. It looks like a double-barrel Glock or something. I'm like, wow, that gun is hot. And he's just going ahead and giving it to Kane. Next thing you know, who let this fool in? He went ahead and tracked Kane to where he was going because he was suspicious. And he rose up on the elevator, and then Mecca greets him. And he extends his hand, and then he flips Guap around and starts breaking his fingers one by one. He's like, what are you trying to hang with this clown for? This dude doesn't need to be categorizing where he's going to be at all times. He's drawing us into his madness. So be careful of the company you keep. This is garbage. You're out of here. He's out of here. So now Kane is reeling a little bit, but he's going to try to get back in. There's a lot of theories going around the internet, and one is thinking that Mecca is maybe Kane's real dad. Oh, that's dangerous territory right there. I don't think that's what's up, but who knows, man. But the wild part is while he's breaking those fingers, Sushi Chef is over there in the corner, and he goes Chef before he breaks the fingers, and Chef knows what to do, pops in those earbuds, and just starts chopping. And I'm thinking to myself, are these fingers going to go in the latest piece of sushi? I don't know. What do we call this? The guap roll? I don't know. Put extra wasabi on that because it's going to taste nasty any other way. Okay, so next thing you know, who's popping out of the woodwork? Your boy Simon Stern, and he's meeting with Tate. Tate wants to immediately talk about Sweeney and how, he needs to get some dirt on him. But you know what's happening? Your boy Simon's like, I don't want to hear all that. You need publicity. Stansfield needs publicity. Why don't we merge the two together and you'll be an adjunct professor for Jabari's old class? And originally Tate is like, I'm not down with that. And then, your boy Simon, silver tongue, he goes ahead and he mentions the benefits. First thing he starts off with is the Westons own erected half of the campus. And then, so Westons are down with the Sweeneys. So maybe he can get some dirt through that way. But then he says, check out the canonical studies class. And here he sees Carrie, alias VY. And he's like, oh, you got me. I'm in there. Ching. Okay, moving forward with that meeting between McLean Davis and Tariq. Tariq is saying, no, you got to help me find my little sister. You got to help me get her back. And he's like, man, that's beyond my reach. You're going to need a lot, though. And you're going to need lots of influence. So, you can smell the wood burning. The boy Tariq is thinking of a scheme. He's going to try to figure out a way to make that happen. All right. So then Tate, he comes in and he meets VY. And of course, Tate doesn't have his own office because Kevin Whitman, everybody's throwing to the side, is working out of his office, interviewing students and everybody else that could be connected to the murder of Jabari Reynolds. They go to the lecture on altruism. And they're talking about, does anybody do anything that's really selfless? And there's a big heated debate going on with all that. And initially, your girl Carrie over VY, she tries to shut down Tate, but then Tate comes back and he said, your question is flawed. He said, every interaction you have in life, there's potential benefit for everyone. Carrie's looking at him like, whoa. So damn, she's about to jump on it again. Not quite yet, but she's warming up the pot. So you know where she's going with that. Especially since your boy, everybody's throwing it aside, Kevin Whitman, has approached her sponsor. Like, you're texting back and forth for it, but Carrie, what's going on with that? She's like, oh, that's confidential. And he's like, no, this is not a psychiatrist's office. It doesn't extend to 12-step in AA. Sorry, you got to tell me what's up, or I'll drag you downtown. So next thing you know, your girl Hannah, the sponsor, she quits Carrie, but she gives her the heads up on what's really going down, bows out gracefully. Like I said, we're talking about Kevin Whitman right now. He's on the tear. So next thing you know, he goes and he comes up on Carrie and he questions her and he verbally beats her down. And he's sitting outside her apartment and he sees Zeke come out. Zeke Cross, the famous basketball player we all know was in college and he's a few knives short of a drawer. So basically he comes out and so Detective Kevin Whitman comes in. And so he questions her on where she was on the night from 7 to 11 that Jabari was killed. And she doesn't want to say so at first, but then she admits Zeke was there. And then he's like, oh, the old Carrie with a student. Wow. So, he just basically disses her. And he says he's going to check with Zeke to see if her story is correct and move on. Meanwhile, speaking of Zeke, dude is lunching. They just told him to be careful. He makes his announcement. Your girl Monet is up in there. She's representing. She's making sure he knows where things stand. And she definitely is running the show because she forced him to go ahead and leave college early. and enter for the draft. Diana, she's trying to maneuver to try to get to the point where she already knows the books of what they're already doing, but she's saying, if I went to school, I could learn more. And then if I learn more, then I could help do the books for Zeke. And she's like, I know what you're doing. You're just trying to get to Stansfield. And then so she's like shutting that down. They tell him to stay out of trouble. Everybody's telling them to stay out of trouble. Don't do nothing stupid. So there he is. Not only he's banging this white chick in his bed, but, you know, could have kept it in his pants for a minute after breaking up with Carrie, which he did. He's banging his chick, and all she could talk about while he's hitting it, not none of that. It's all about where you gonna go. You know, she's basically on that groupie action. So, you know, when somebody's on that groupie tip, they can be quite dangerous. Boom, boom, boom. Who's at the door? Kevin Whitman. Everybody's thorn in the side. He's like, you're coming downtown. Question. The groupie chick, she takes her camera out and she starts filming the whole incident. And she's like, you better not touch him. You know, I have you on tape. But then she starts smiling. All right. So we know she's up to something nefarious, man. She's going to do something with that videotape. Blackmail, possibly dead. Who knows where it goes next? Don't let Auntie Monet find out. All right. So that's where that is. That's the last time we see Zeke. You know he's going to get drilled. A lot of times when you're watching your favorite team, a lot of times they're on a losing streak and you keep just getting heartbroken. And it's kind of like that with Zeke. You keep expecting him to pull some form of intelligence out of his butt, and all he does is pull out dumb stuff. He's like a big baby. He's getting grilled at the station by Kevin Whitman, who seems to be getting a lot of answers out of everybody. So that's going to be kind of tight on his butt, man. I don't know where that's going to go. I'm still cheering for him. God knows why. He hasn't shown me nothing yet, but I'm hoping he'll be able to roll with it. Meanwhile, you got your boy Drew. You know, he's recovering from his injury. And, you know, it's family time pretty much. Your boy Zeke takes him on a shoot around. He's saying, you know, it really helped my shoulder when I did this and that. So do it with me, blah, blah, blah. And then he blabs on Monet's grand exit strategy as far as following Zeke to wherever he goes and running his whole show. And then he course corrects. Reek's little thing for moving drugs and also with the cover of being a tutoring service. With that, he looks at his little shaved face and he's like, oops. And your boy Zeke is like, that's tight. That's Tariq. So meanwhile, Zeke is the last person you want to give all the information to, because we know pretty soon he's going to be in the station with Kevin Whitman. Everybody's throwing it aside. Reek turns over the reins to Braden. And he's like, look, man, you know, I got some stuff I got to handle right now. So you need to go ahead and step up your game and roll with the product. We switch over to Effie. And Effie, I think she likes sushi too. I was watching with the wifey and she's like, oh my God, she's not even an adult. But no, I try to explain to her that everybody is different stages of maturity. And some people in college don't look like they need to be in college yet. And some people in college look like they're like 40. Here's where it goes. So she's doing that. And then, you know, your boy Braden pops up. I'm a career ally. You want to share? And then everybody shuts that down. So they get the product from your boy. Meanwhile, who stepped on the stash? And we come to find out that it was your boy Kane who stepped on the stash. And this is how he gets back in good graces. He brings the product over to Mecca. And Mecca's like, what do I need all that for? And he's like, that's just representing something. This is the coke. I got it from this low-level dealer that's connected to somebody that I wanted to get you in with. Family that's well-known and well-respected in the game. And he was like, well, who's that? And he goes, Monet Tejada. And then at first, Mecca's like, you steal from your family? But he said, no, I didn't steal from my family. I provided an opportunity for my family. They need a new connect. So that's how he gets in good graces again with Mecca. And then next thing you know, Braden is going down the street in the Braymobile and he gets the call from Effie. You need to get back here. This product's been stepped on. So he shows up on the scene and there is a very disgruntled, grunge looking chick, little shorty. She's about Effie's height. She's giving it to her about the product and how it's garbage and she needs to make it right. And there's a big behemoth looking dude in the background and he's just sitting back watching the whole thing. It looks like he's ready to move at any time though. So Braden shows up. The B word comes out. So Effie doesn't feel that at all. She whips back to get her piece. The big dude smacks it out of her hand. So Braden is like, So Braden commits to getting an ass whipping. Now, while he's on the ground, taking all the punches left and right, like it's a brutal beating, all of a sudden, he gets a little MMA action in him. And he does the hook trip. and he gets dude on the ground. He starts pounding on him. But meanwhile, his face is kind of a bloody mess a little bit, looking like Vito and the Firmo from back in the boxing day. They move forward. They contact Reek. Reek comes there. He gets Diana to go with him because that's who supplied the product. And they show up there. They're like, what happened to Braden? And they explain the whole scenario. We got to make this right. Now, the thing I don't like about this is they don't explain how they make it right. Did that old girl just get crapped upon, who showed up, who bought the drugs initially? Did she get her money back? Whatever. Does new product come up? What's the deal? How does Effie get right and get straight? So I don't know how any of that happens. But basically, they make it happen. They just kind of disappear out of that scene. So when they disappear out of that scene, somebody comes back. Diana comes back. Oh, and did I fail to mention that even before the comeback, Effie and Diana were about to mix it up. The B word's flying again. And you know how that's going to go down. But Tariq breaks it up and they try to go somewhere with it. I like what you do. And I want you to teach me. She's like, what are you talking about? She said, you move weight and you're in school. So I want to do the same thing. So Effie's like, well, wait a minute. You got on a lockdown with Monet, man. And she's not going to let you roll out like that. So Diana's like, well, she don't know won't hurt her. Looks like they got a plan of action. She's kind of teaching her. She said, okay, since you're smart enough to be in school, who stepped on your product? So she's like, I don't know. And then she said, cui bono. Cui bono means it's a crime that's committed. Who has the most to gain by committing that crime? So she threw a little Latin on her. She was a little disappointed that Diana didn't know the response and whatnot. But I think Diana is pretty smart. She had the good grades going in and stuff. They're going to work together, which is going to be amazing. No one's really making any moves on Tariq. Effie seems like she's no longer even interested. Diana seems like she's interested, but, we'll see where that goes. Now we're moving to Kane. So Kane talks to Monet, and he convinces Monet, to let him back in the picture. He tells her he found a new connect. I'm going to do right this time. I'm going to do everything right. I'm not going to mess with Tariq, on a straight and narrow and all that stuff. So that's where they're going with that. And she's like, she makes a promise, a couple things. And then she said, all right, come on back to the families. Now, throughout this episode, basically, we have a little situation going on there. Two different scenarios. One where Monet is trying to get her bar up and running again so they can launder the money through there. And another situation where she's sitting at home, a red Trans Am starts going by in the street. And she starts hearing, can you stand the rain? Whoa, 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 whoa. So you know what that is. It's New Edition, Can You Stand the Rain? Somebody's blasting out the car, but that means something to her. So then later on, she's at home and she hears it again and she looks out again and the red Trans Am pulls to a stop. A girl gets out. So she's like, what's wrong with my mind? Then she goes back to doing what she's doing. Everybody's eating dinner, but Diana, she's got that intelligence spark now going back again. And she asked Drew, she said, did he mention that he had to connect when he talked to you, or did you call him first? Drew told him, hey, I called him first. And Diana's like, cui bono. We're figuring out, Diana's starting to get an inkling of what's really going on. And then next thing you know, boom, trash cans. These trash cans get knocked over in the street. So, you're like, what the hell is going on? And we flash forward a little bit. Alonzo, he's got his 23rd anniversary with Monet, but he's still in jail getting a conjugal visit. She got him a pack of Newports and some expensive cognac. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's all they got there. So she's like, I need more. And then so while all that's going on there, he's talking to her and he's finding out that, okay, Kane has a possible connect, but she doesn't trust him. And he's like, what? He's like, you shot our connect. We need another connect. Take Kane's connect. And then so she's going to be the dutiful wife and whatnot and follow that instruction. But she doesn't always follow his instructions. You know what I mean, son? Then what happens is Lauren is on the roof. Okay, she's taking Tariq to the roof after some hazing incidents. I don't know anything about that hazing, by the way. There's no hazing in, I won't mention my fraternity. So anyway, she takes him to the roof. She was like, her brother used to pick the lock up there and he showed her about it. It was his favorite place and it became her favorite place. Now, flashback, remember, her brother got in trouble with drugs. So she probably is not feeling the drug life. Meanwhile, that previous call that we talked about where Diana and Tariq had to hook up, Diana hits him up. And she's like, yo, you got to find a new spot, man. We got to find some more reliable. And then so he's like, okay, cool. I know the exact spot we'll need. And when the phone rings, though, Lauren notices it says Diane on it. And this is the second time he gets interrupted by a personal call. And Lauren is like, I am out. You don't have any time for me. Boom. She rolls out. She got the major weave on. Boy, that shit was like 6 feet tall. All right, so moving forward from there, your girl Monet, she is getting a text message, and she responds to that text message. She's at Junior's Cheesecake, and we all know that from your boy P. Diddy when he forced the band to walk all the way to Coney Island to get him a slice of cheesecake. But who's waiting for her there? Your boy Mecca. And Mecca's like, you remembered the signal. And Monet is like, how could I not remember the signal? I can't believe my father never figured out it was you knocking those trash cans over. And then I figured who else would be blasting New Edition out there ride like it's 1988 or something. So she's always with the smart lip, but it's always funny as hell. So they talk. And she says, no, it's too late for all that, blah, blah, blah. Because she know how to play hard, baby. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So then what happens is Mecca's just like, I'm stunned by her beauty. Because guess what? No matter what Monet looked like back in the day, I guarantee she looks better now. So he gives her his black card, and he says, just in case you change your mind, he watches her walk off, and she's got this little smirk on her face. So she's got something in mind. I think that's her new Detective Rodriguez. Smash! Okay, so there it is. Now, that's the end of the episode. It was dope, but we got previews, man. We got some predictions to make too. So they squashed the beef. Zeke getting grilled in the station. Like I said, oh my God. I think he's going to surprise us all. And I think he's going to wiggle his way out of the situation. And maybe somebody shows up, like maybe a McLean Davis or a Sachs, to kind of get him out of the hot water. There's also a Mecca conversation with your boy Kane, and he's telling him, you need to learn how to control this Tariq St. Patrick. So that's ominous words right there for our main character. And lastly, I got a prediction. Little Guap sleeps with the fishes. He is no good to nobody. He is a lightning rod for everything as far as anybody who is checking the net or Instagram or anything like that to find out any type of illegal activity. He's rolling up in Kingpin's houses with his Instagram on. That dude has to go, man. And here's the thing. Kane's going to take him out because guess who doesn't need him anymore? Kane. He's going to be in it down with your boy Mecca. He's going to make it happen. That's it for us. Me and Visit Dill. And we're still looking for Where's Waldo E. Dot. So until next week, we'll see you then. One love. Thanks, fella.
You too, fella.
Put that in there.
Yeah, it's staying.
And when I say put that in there, put that in there. When I say put that in there.
Okay, but when you say put it in there, do you mean there or there?
I mean like there, and everywhere.
Okay, that clears everything up. Thank you.
So let's go ahead and get it started. Again, your boy, this asshole in the truck. Edit that out. All right, y'all. We still looking for E. Eberly. Oops. I'll erase that. Okay, y'all. We looking for still.
You can do it.
Okay, y'all.